We don't dispute that my client was given a forfeiture notice in 1995. She complied with it, there was no problem. But we do dispute where it says that land records show that rent was owed and that she never paid it. That is not true, and we will give you all copies of the receipt that I have here. That my client indeed initially did not pay any rent. She had a misunderstanding as to if she's paying city council tax. She felt that that was all she had to pay, but then they had to explain to her that no, city council tax is different than land tax because you're paying like a rent for a lease. But she paid it, and here is the receipt. We will prove that it was paid. And yes, it was paid after all of this blew up, but nonetheless, the lands department did take the money.
From the dates suggested in the letters, did we ever get any notice at that address of the forfeiture of this lease? But when it did come to our attention and we started our investigation, when we saw people working on this thing, we went to the lands department, and through our research, basically we found also when I went to pay the violation that they claimed that we were not paying the rent, I paid the rent, they accepted the rent. I also found out that there was in their system proposed price, sale price to Maud Williams to sell this property to them for $800. If that is in their system, that means that at that point, which is the 27th of December, that had not yet been paid by these people. So how could they hold a title for something they have not paid for? And this is clearly pointing, in my view, that the lands department is on collusion with these people to deprive my sister of her rightful right as a Belizean to own this property, which he had already invested sufficient funds for the lands department to recognize that there was development on the land.
Then the other thing that it says is that permission to mortgage was issued in 1995 in favor of the Belize Bank. And that is true. Belize Bank has a charge on that land. And because the Belize Bank has a charge on that land, they have an interest, which interestingly, Mr. Vallejo says that on October 1st of this year, they sent a notice to both my client and the Belize Bank saying to them that they are being notified that this matter, they will forfeit it. We dispute that terribly. Mr. Pickwood lives at that address. We have proof that before this year, once at least they sent a letter to that address and it was received. My clients have no reason to lie as to whether they received any notice or not. But we are saying the same way they could have found the address and issued a notice then, they could have issued a notice now. They never got it. But more important, if they even want to think that they're lying for their own ulterior motives, we can give you the letter from the Belize Bank, which the Belize Bank also is disputing with Lands Department what they've done. And in it, the Belize Bank clearly tells them that up to today, they have not been served any notice.